Hey, yeah, good morning. One of the things I want to talk about was I get a lot of calls from people wanting to be a real estate investor. There's lots of these internet programs that you can buy online that teach you how to buy using other people's money, get rich quick schemes. You're going to buy houses 30 cents on the dollar kind of stuff. I've seen various things work, but some of the stuff is just too good to be true. So I want to just, give a quick rundown of investing in real estate and, some strategies that actually work and are systematic and can lead to long-term wealth, and also dispel some of the nonsense of some of the phone calls I get from people who say they're an investor and it's just the name only. They actually never purchased a piece of real estate in their lives probably. The first thing is to consider what investment is. Investment means you take your money and you grow it and it becomes something bigger. Imagine you wanted to invest in stocks and you decided to invest in stocks by going to a bank and trying to get a loan for $250,000. And they would laugh you right out of the bank because they're not willing to allow you to borrow $250,000 from their bank to invest it in stock. However, if you go into almost any bank in America and ask to borrow $250,000 to buy a house, they will sit you down and at least take your application. And assuming you have good credit, a job, they will loan you $250,000 to invest. Now, once you own the property, right, there's a couple of ways to make money on it. One is if you are renting right now, stop it. Buy a house and be your own landlord. Your house is year over year likely going to appreciate in value, although it could go down in value, which it does sometimes. And you will be paying rent to yourself, which means eventually you will own the house as an asset, which is the difference between the liability of rent and the asset of a building. There's three basic ways to be a landlord. One is to be an annual landlord, where you put somebody in there and you rent to them, every month or yearly, and you can do that commercially, residentially, a variety of things. But we're going to talk about residential for today. You can put them in a seasonal vacational rental, or you can put them into some sort of Airbnb program, which is more labor intensive. Each of them have their benefits. Each of them have deterrents. For me, owning annual rentals is simpler. It's systematic. You can hire somebody else to manage them. Most of the problems there can be handled, and it is a consistent way to make money month after month. It is a proven way of making money, and it is a way a lot of people make money. Seasonal rentals, you rent it out, usually through a vacation rental company or through VRBO, and you rent it out for 2 weeks to a month to 3 months to 4 months at a time at an elevated rate of return for those months. And you typically have to have it furnished. You are providing mowing the yard, taking care of the pool, making sure that there are amenities there for them, games, other stuff for them to play, and you are swapping out the sheets and having it cleaned every 3 or 4 months when the new people come through. The positives are that the monthly return on it is much higher. However, the downside is that you probably won't rent it out all year round. There's very few seasonal rentals that I've ever seen that even top 10 months out of the year being rented out. Most of them are 5 or 6 months with the ones I get to see. It doesn't mean you can't make a profit on it. I have one right now that I've listed that is probably around 10% cap rate for the property because it's so desirable and rented out almost all the time. That can be an asset to you, especially if you wanted to live in another state and vacation in sunny Florida. You could buy something, rent it out the other 6-8 months out of the year, and then come down on vacation periodically in between other guests. And then the last one is Airbnb, which usually is really, really labor intensive, and not all municipalities allow you to do it. So you end up with owning a house and renting it out, like a micro seasonal rental, where you rent it out for a couple of days at a time. You put on Airbnb and, and there's other companies that work through those kinds of things if you want to hire them to do that. But all those things are ways that you make money. Once you own the property itself, you do have the appreciation and value usually. And you're paying it down each month if you did borrow the money. And you want to be sure that you buy it in a position where you can do that, which is my next point. Is a lot of people come in and they want to buy a $200,000 house for $130,000. And most sellers won't do that. If I'm advising them as the listing agent, I told them what their house was worth when I went and sat at their house. So your offer that's 30, 40, 50% of less than, they're not stupid. They're not going to take it. Very few people are going to rationally sell their property for 50 cents on the dollar. Typically, you've had to trick them, guilt them, use fear, obligation, guilt, some sort of trickery to deceive them into selling it for some of the so-called internet rates that people say, oh, I picked up this house for 50 cents on the dollar. There's some catch to that. It wasn't in good condition. It wasn't in great condition. The people had some sort of financial hardship. There was something going on behind that put them there. The majority of the time, you're going to buy a house within 3% of market value, and you can still make money at it, and it needs to be repeatable. And there are systems in place that you can follow. There's tried and true ways to do it, but the thing is, a lot of people want to try to put a lot of effort in and get that one time that they took the other person. I'm not your agent for that. Go somewhere else. I'll help people get all kinds of other stuff, get systems in place and make money. But if you're looking to take advantage of some sweet old lady, I'm not going to help you do that. I sleep great at night, and I don't like hurting someone at the I don't want to help someone at the expense of hurting someone else. So I typically just tell the people no, or try to explain to them that what they're asking to happen happens less than 1 out of every 10,000 transactions, and I don't want to spend my time on it. So anyway, thanks for watching this, guys. I'm going to put up a blog later on with it, and if you have questions, feel free to call me about real estate investing, email me, message me, and be happy to point you in the right direction, answer your questions, and have a great day.